with our potatoes here. It's also a part of gardening, in a sense, is one of the things you have to do is watch some plants die in order to get what you need from them, and potatoes is one of those cases. All right, everyone, welcome to another episode of The Urban Gardener. Today, we're gonna finally get into our containers and harvest out our potatoes. We're gonna finally get to see what we've got growing on in there. So like a lot of other things in your garden where you get to see your vegetables grow and mature and ripen and then you pick them, you don't get that luxury with potatoes. They're growing in the soil in your containers there, and you don't get to see what happens until you harvest them. So we've got a nice little mystery back there. Let's get down in there and see what we got. So as you can tell, our plants have completely died back, at least in the big tub here, which we have our russet potatoes in, and it's mostly died back here in our smaller container, which we've got our red potatoes in. But if you look over here, this is the container that contains our purple potatoes. Still growing. We still got growth growing everywhere. So really interested to see what's inside of there. We are going to harvest them. We're going to pull them. I do want to get our next batch of potatoes getting started for the fall. So everything's got to get cleared out so that we can replant and get ready for the fall. And I have got to move this squash plant back, which is growing all around in there too. So we'll get that taken care of. We'll pull our potatoes over here. We're gonna set up a nice spot here where we can dump them out and see what we've got. All right, and real quick here, we do have our experiment potatoes here that we're growing in this basket here. So let me show you a clip real quick from an earlier episode. When you get your potatoes and you store them away for a while, it's good to store them away for a little while. But one of the things you don't want to do is stick your potatoes up into a cupboard and then do this. Completely forget about them. Now, as you can tell from that clip, we did not know what was going to happen with those potatoes. They were really bad off when we put them in there, and it did take quite a while for them to actually pop up and actually develop and grow into a plant. But they're still growing, and similar to our purple potatoes, still putting up growth and everything else. So we're probably just going to let this one grow. I want to see what we can get out of that. I'm going to wait for this plant to actually die down. So we'll wait till another episode before we'll get into that and see what we got. All right, let's get down and see what kind of russets we got here. Not very big. What do you expecting out of a container, but it's pretty Alright, so basically we only got ourselves a few small potatoes out of our russet potatoes. Don't even imagine a pound there, maybe. Alright, well, could have done better there. Hopefully next time around this variety will do a little bit better. see what kind of red potatoes we got. And here with the red potatoes, similar situation. Another small batch. Small size potatoes. Again, maybe a pound or less. All right, that's the red potatoes. All right, now this is the one I'm really interested in. Let's check out and see what kind of purple potatoes we got. And also, looks like we even got less of the purple potatoes than we got of the others, even though those plants were really strong and nice. Well, let's see what we got. Well, mystery over. We finally got through all those containers of potatoes. Not very big, not very many. There are a couple of things and ideas that I possibly have that I think might be the case for why we didn't get as good of a crop as I was hoping for. I think maybe I didn't get them out early enough so that they could develop a little bit better before the heat of the summer started to come. I think maybe as the heat started rising towards the beginning of summer, I think that probably pushed back some of the growth and development of the actual tubers. So, you know, getting them out a little bit earlier might be something that we try next season as we do the spring season. Another thing is too, maybe location. Where I had them, there might have been just a little shaded out a little bit, could be the case. So we will try to maybe put them in a different spot. Maybe we can get a little bit more light and sun onto them, and maybe that'll help the development of the plant a little bit more too as well. A couple of other things I'm going to look into and see maybe what we can do to improve the crop that we get from our next batch of potatoes. But luckily, we are going to jump right into our fall growing season when it comes to potatoes. So we will be planting those out here real quick, and in an upcoming episode I will give you an update of where we are and what conclusions we've come to when it comes to how we're going to set out the next batch of potatoes. Okay, let's actually take a look and see how much these actually came out to and weighed. I got a little scale here. Let's set up here. Just kind of lift these up and see what we get. Alright, looks like it's coming out to about 3.14. So as I guessed, it's about a pound per container that we had there. I think maybe just a little bit less of the purple potatoes, a little bit more of the red potatoes, but altogether we got around 3 pounds of potatoes. It's not very much, not what I was hoping or anticipating for. Would I call it a fail per se? No, not at all. This was um, another step in learning how to grow, learning how to do more small space gardening. I think we can apply a couple of things next time around when it comes to our spring potatoes. We're going to try some things when it comes to the fall potatoes and see how well those work out. But we're learning here. This is what's going on. We're trying to develop a good concept of what we're doing here at the Urban Gardens. So I'm happy with 3 pounds of potatoes at the moment. So I'm gonna go look up something to do with these and fix them up. And if you have any suggestions of all what I should do with these, hit me up in the comment section below. Tell me what you think I should do with these 3 pounds of potatoes. So that about does it for the 2017 Great Potato Harvest. And as you could tell, it probably wasn't that great, but we did get to learn quite a bit about growing potatoes in containers. We're going to apply some other concepts as we move along into growing our next crop of potatoes in our containers. So we'll catch up with that next time around in an update when one of our upcoming episodes. I'll show you about that there. And as far as this episode is concerned, if you like our short little potato harvest, give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions, comments, or like I said, have any suggestions for what I should do with those potatoes, hit me up in the comment section below. Thank you so much for subscribing to The Urban Gardener, and we'll see you again on the next episode. Just a roll and a stretch. Roll and a stretch.
You sweet kitty. What are you doing? What's up, precious girl?